The world food production has doubled since the Green Revolution. There is abundant supply of food, especially in developed world, but yet one third of the world population is still undernourished. Proper nutrition is a powerful good. People who are well nourished are more likely to be healthy, productive, and able to learn. Good nutrition benefits families, the communities, and the world as a whole. Undernutrition, on the other hand, is by the same logic. It is devastating, it's blunt the intellect, sap the productivity of everyone it touches, and perpetuate poverty. Stunting or low high for age traps people into a lifelong cycle of poor nutrition, illness, poverty, and inequity. The damage to physical and cognitive development, especially during the first 2 years of a child's life, is likely irreversible. A child poor school performance result in future income reduction of 22% on average. 3 billion people depend on rice as their staple food, with 10% at risk for vitamin A deficiency, which, according to the World Health Organization, 250 to 50,000 children go blind every year. Out of these 50,000, half of them would die within the year or before they turn 5 years old. One in every people worldwide are chronically undernourished. Over 900 million people worldwide are uncertain about their next meal. 960 million people experience food insecurity. The highest malnutrition rate are found in Asia, Sub-Saharan Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean. Famine has been one of the main causes of this malnutrition. Famine is likely characterized by large-scale loss of life, social disruption, economic chaos, human distress. The causes of famine ranges from crop failure to bad weather and, for the most part, war or political unrest. Speaking of war and political unrest, this has been one of the main issues of the 21st century. In sub-Saharan Africa, in countries like Central African Republic, some part of English-speaking Cameroon, war has ravaged villages, and the people in this region depend solely on agriculture. And when you're busy fighting wars, you have less or no time to engage in agriculture. Even when you feel like you have the time to do the agriculture, the environment is not safe for you to be out there working on your farms. And this has caused a lot of insecurity among the people and has resulted in death. For the most part, millions of people are fleeing away for their lives. Crop failure has been mostly affected by the climate crisis that we're facing today. The world is at a risk of being destroyed by the global warming, but yet politics around the topic of global warming has not been promising. Science has proven that the earth temperature is increasing at an alarming rate. And if something is not done about it, the world is going to pay a heavy price. Maybe the people in charge of making decisions are not doing anything because they're not seeing the effect. But the effects are already there. And in the regions where the people being affected are not the people who are involved in causing the problem. The World Health Organization has came up with a number of ways to address the undernutrition in developing countries. There has been distribution of food, there has been fortification of ready to use food, and for the most part, there's also been the distribution of food that the population is used to eating. Back in the 1990s, there was a problem of where food was being sent to people who were affected by famine and or people who were undernourished. The food that was being sent to them was not the type of food they were used to. And then most people simply died because they consumed the food that they were not used to, and the food was not used to the system. The system could not digest the food properly, as the case of Ethiopia in the 1990s. Undernutrition has also been a big issue in the United States. Statistics have shown that 46.5 million, that is 15% of Americans, live below the poverty level. 21.8 million of the poor are children, and in the poverty for 65 and above is rising. The choice between food and rent is always a problem. Poverty among African Americans is at 27%. For Hispanic, it's 26%. For Asian, it's 11%. And for white, it's 10%. More of this is related to politics and socio-economic trend than the scarcity of food itself. There have been programs that have been set up to address the problem of malnutrition. Some of these programs come in form of food stamps or sometimes financial assistance to families that are struggling. There's also been school lunches, provision of school lunches at very affordable prices. There's what is popularly known as the Recovery Act of 2009, which increased a variety of food benefit and services to families that cannot afford food. There's also been charitable donations, as the case with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They've donated millions and millions of dollars to families struggling across the world over the past years. And that goes the same with big organizations like the World Health Organization, United Nations Children Emergency Fund. The list goes on and on and on. There are ways we can address this problem. There are ways we can solve this problem. And to do that, we have to first of all realize that it is affecting millions and millions of people. We have to understand that it's a reality. Because as we speak here today, millions of people are dying out there because of food. Just like the commercials or late night TV would say, they're speaking now, a child is dying in Africa because of the lack of food. It might sound funny, it might sound like a scam, but it is a reality. We have to be serious about this and make sure that we don't lose another life because of undernutrition. I hope we can come together and do something about this. Thank you.